Hey, how's it going again, Guardians? LVnative here with another Destiny video. This video is going to be briefly touching over everything that we know about the Rise of Iron, stuff that's coming out for it, stuff that we'll be able to do in it. So, over the last few days, there have been a lot of information that's come to light on stuff that we're going to be able to do in the Rise of Iron, or new, things that are going to be coming. And it has just been a plethora of videos coming out, ladies and gentlemen. This video is just going to briefly touch on everything that we know as of this date on stuff that's going to be coming. So let's kick it off, shall we? Starting things off, we do know that the Rise of Iron is only going to be for current gen consoles only. What does that mean? For PS4 and Xbox One users, those are going to be the only ones able to play this game. If you have PS3 or the Xbox 360, unfortunately, you will not be able to play the Rise of Iron. You're going to have to upgrade your consoles to do so. The release date for the Rise of Iron we know is going to be September 20th, and there are a couple of pre-order bonuses. If you pre-order it, you are going to get the Iron Yellowhorn and the Iron Yaller Wing. Now, the Yellowhorn, everyone knows, that was from year one of the most sought-after rocket launchers that you can get. And the Yaller Wing is actually going to be a new Sparrow that we're going to be able to get. Now, even if you do not pre-order, you still will be able to get the Yellowhorn and the Yaller Wing. But if you pre-order, you will get basically a different skinned version of it, a little different color, being also with a little bit different name, known as the Iron Yellowhorn and the Iron Yaller Wing. We are going to be getting a new social space, and this is going to be called Fellwinter's Peak. You will be able to go to this after you unlock it through a mission. I believe it is going to be the very first mission that you have to do in Rise of Iron, basically to reclaim Fellwinter's Peak. There are reports that this may be the largest social space that we've seen yet, including a secret area that is normally only going to be open during special events. I would have to guess it's kind of something like when Iron Banner comes along in the tower, it opens up that gate and lets you go into another area. I think it's going to be something similar to that. But they have said that, very astute Guardians who are able to find it will be able to get a secret entrance into that area. Fellwinter's Peak is also going to have new vendors for you to be able to, buy new weapons and armor sets and stuff like that for. And if you didn't already know, Fellwinter's Peak is the home of the Iron Lords. And they also have a shrine there dedicated to all of the fallen ones who have died trying to contain this Siva outbreak. The new raid is going to be called Wrath of the Machine, and it is going to be released September 23rd. So 3 days after the launch of Rise of Iron, we will get our hands on the new raid. With the Rise of Iron, we are also going to have a very significant light level increase. So as soon as it launches on the 20th, we are going to be able to reach a light level of 385. Now, going from our current 335, that is already a gigantic increase in light. And they're adding even more to it. A couple of weeks after the raid has been released, when they actually release the hard mode version of the raid, when that goes live, we will now have a new cap of 400 light level. That is an insane increase from where we're currently at right now. So there's going to be a lot of content to grind through in order to get yourself up to that level. So that ought to be really fun. We also know that there is going to be an introduction of new artifacts for us to be able to use, and these are not going to be items that just, have a different look to them. They are actually going to have game-changing abilities associated with them. Also, any class can use them, whether you're Hunter, Titan, or Warlock, anyone will be able to equip these. So you're going to be able to get them from a vendor known as Tyra Karn. She'll be selling 3 artifacts each week, rotates on a weekly basis, and each of these 8 artifacts that she sells represent the deceased Iron Lords, and it's a way to honor them. You'll also have to present them to a shrine in order to actually unlock their abilities and everything, but once you do, you will get some game-changing abilities. Here is a quick list of the ones that are going to be in the game. Number 1, we have the artifact known as Memory of Fellwinter. And what this does when equipped, it takes away your super ability. However, you do get an extra grenade and an extra melee charge. Also, you have faster recharge of both of those. So that can be really entertaining for people who don't like to use their supers that much and just want their neutral game to be a lot stronger, especially, in Crucible, if you're looking for that super strong neutral game, this might be a fantastic artifact for you to run around with. Next, we have the Memory of Gelion. And the ability for this, you get a detailed radar at all times. And it also stays active while zoomed in with your primary. This makes me think it's something along the lines of Keen Scout, for the detailed radar. And also, something like Third Eye, where it, remains active no matter what primary you have while you're zooming down. You never lose your radar. So that's going to be pretty fun as well. Number 3, we have the Memory of Scory, and what this does, it speeds up your super recharge rate to all nearby allies. I would also assume it would be your super recharge rate as well. Hopefully this does not stack, because that could get really ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, it would be really fun, but it would also be game breaking if you could have like all 6 Guardians, doing the raid or something, and everybody has this equipped, and everybody's super just almost instantly recharges if they all stacked on top of each other. Number 4, we have the Memory of Timur. Transform your melee into make it to where low-level enemies that you hit temporarily can become allies, almost like a necromancer. You're bringing dead enemies back, and they're having to fight on your side. I believe I read that the cooldown for this is going to be a 30-second cooldown. And I don't know if you can do this to multiple enemies, but it sounds like it could be really fun. Just going around smacking a bunch of Thrall, letting them attack for you on certain things. That could be really interesting. Definitely something that we haven't seen anything like it in Destiny so far. Number 5, we have Memory of Radagast. And this ability lets you reflect energy-based weapons, and this even includes rockets in PvP. So I imagine there's going to be some hilarious clips of this, during the heavy weapon rounds especially. I can see rockets being fired. You use that with your sword to deflect that rocket right back to the person who fired it at you to kill them instead. So that's going to be really cool to be able to reflect, different projectiles back towards the enemies. Next up, we have the Memory of Perun. And what this does for the ability, it is going to highlight enemy guardians that have full supers, and also will highlight low health leveled enemies to make them easy for you to find and pick off. Up next, number 7, we have Memory of Jolder. Eliminate the sprint cooldown. So if you've been playing for a while, if you've been sprinting for a decent amount of distance and you stop sprinting for a split second and you try to sprint again, it won't let you. There's a cooldown on it. That isn't a glitch or anything. That is actually intended in the game, but with this artifact equipped, you will have no cooldown to worry about on that sprint, so you can just sprint as much as you want. Number 8, we have the Memory of Skillamar. Dramatically reduced your damage over time that you receive from certain weapons and sources. So, like the Thorn that used to put up that, dot on people and damaged you a lot. This will dramatically reduce the amount of damage that you take from any damage over time. So any burn or poison or anything like that, you won't take near as much damage, it looks like, with this equipped. So that's going to do it for the 8 artifacts. Again, there's a lot more detail into these, but I'm just touching a little bit on each one of them because, if I didn't and I spent too much time on any one thing, this video is just going to drag out. So let's keep moving. And the Crucible is getting some changes as well. For one, they're going to have a new game mode, and the game mode is going to be called Supremacy. And what this looks like is a little bit of something along the lines of Kill Confirmed from Call of Duty. So if you're not familiar with what that is, basically what happens is whenever you kill an enemy player, they'll drop a crest that you can go and pick up to get more points for your team. Also, when you or one of your allies die, it drops a crest as well that the enemy can pick up and get points for their team. You will also be able to deny points for your enemy team if you pick up your, allies' crests before the enemy does if they go down. So I have a feeling a lot of close quarter combat, builds are going to be really superior in something like Supremacy. So up close shotgun type warriors are going to do pretty well, I think, in this game. It's going to also reward people who play a really fast and high mobility kind of like, Titan skating, and stuff like that. It's going to be really interesting. We haven't had an actual new type of game mode in PvP for a long time, so this ought to bring a, breath of fresh air into the Crucible. Supremacy is going to be available in 3 different formats. You're going to have normal 6v6, you're going to have an Inferno 6v6, and then you're also going to have a free-for-all 6v6. So a little rumble with kill confirmed ought to be really interesting. So also with the Crucible, they're going to be adding 4 new maps. Number 1, we're going to have the Last Exit. This is going to be a Venus map that you can play on. Also, they're going to have the Floating Gardens, another Venus map. Number 3 is going to be Skyline. That's going to take place on Mars. And the 4th and final new Crucible map is going to be called Icarus. This is going to be a PS4 exclusive that takes place on Mercury. So, sorry, unfortunately, at least at the launch, Xbox players will not be able to play on this new map. It is going to be exclusive for PlayStation 4 only. The Iron Banner is getting some changes as well. The very first Iron Banner after the launch of Rise of Iron is going to be featuring the new game mode Supremacy. A couple of changes that have happened. The tempered buff has been removed completely from Iron Banner. Basically, if you're unfamiliar with what this is, at the very launch of Iron Banner, the first day or two, you get less experience after each game than you do if you wait towards the end of the week. This is basically going to level the playing field. Whether you like to play towards the beginning or the end of the week, you are going to level up at the same rate. But they are also going to be increasing dramatically the rate that you can reach up to rank 5. So you won't get penalized, if you used to always wait towards the very end of the week just to get through it as quick as possible. Or if you had your days off maybe were at the beginning of the week and you suffered because you had to grind a lot just to get to that same rank 5. This is going to make it even across all playing fields, but they are speeding up the base rate to it so it doesn't take forever to grind to. The slingshot leveling effect still will be happening, so once you get one character to rank 5 in the Iron Banner, it will then boost up how quick you can get your other classes to rank 5 as well. So they are still keeping that. Also, you will be able to wear whatever you want with no penalty, which means there's going to be no more, rep bonuses for wearing your shaders, your class item, etc. You can wear whatever you want, and you're going to get the same amount of experience, which is nice, because most people have a certain look that they like, but they have to completely disregard it once Iron Banner comes around, just so they can get that extra experience. You no longer have to worry about that. Everyone's going to get the same amount of experience, regardless of what you're wearing. Alright, so we also know that there are going to be some new some new armor sets in the Rise of Iron. So you're going to have an exclusive Iron Banner set, trial set, sets from your vendors, etc. So there's going to be a lot of new sets of armor to collect for each one of your Guardians. Speaking of exotics, we know for a fact they are going to be bringing a couple of exotics back from year 1 that we haven't seen before, and then they're also going to be introducing a lot more of new exotics. We don't know much about those. One of those we do know about, though, is they are going to be bringing the Kavistov back. Now, what the Kavistov was, if you're unfamiliar with this weapon, it's easy to forget. This was the very first weapon that you picked up in Destiny, that your ghost tells you to grab that weapon, that auto rifle that, kind of sucked. It's being brought back as an exotic weapon with a lot of different unique perks on it. Ought to be really interesting to, get that weapon in your hands again. And if you haven't heard by now, this next thing I'm about to tell you is either going to infuriate you or make you, jump for joy. They are bringing Thorn back for Rise of Iron, so expect to see a lot of it in the Crucible again. It's probably not going to be anywhere near as powerful as it was in year 1 when Thorn was the meta and everywhere you went that's all anyone used, but it is still being brought back. Me personally, I loved the Thorn. It was one of my favorite weapons to use in the Crucible, and I'm glad to see that it's coming back. That and the Galahorn is going to give me a lot of nostalgia into the Rise of Iron. I cannot wait for it to be released. One last little thing before I go is they are also going to be introducing new features. Now, the only thing that Bungie has said about these new features is that they are introducing something into the world of Destiny that the player base has been, calling for and begging for a very long time. And it's very vague. We don't know exactly what it is, but the consensus around most other people's opinions right now seem to be that it's probably going to be one of two things. Either one, custom games are finally going to be brought into Destiny PvP, or it's going to be dedicated servers brought into PvP to fix the connectivity issues, to eliminate the lag that everyone hates so much. So this would be awesome if we got either one of these. Who knows? We could get the custom games, we could get dedicated servers, we could get both, we could get something entirely new that most of us haven't even thought about yet. Regardless, I'm really excited to see what that's going to be. Me personally, I think I'm leaning towards that it's going to be custom games, just because every other really good competitive first-person shooter out there has custom games built into it where you can set up player versus player games any way you want with any people that you want at any time, and set your own set of rules, whether you're supercharged quickly, your health might never regenerate. You can put your own circumstances and your own twist on the games, and you can do that with whoever you want. So that's what I think is going to be brought in. We'll learn in the near future whether I'm right, because I think that they are going to reveal within the next week or two probably what those new features are going to be. All they've said though is it's something that Destiny players have been calling for a long time. So you guys put your speculation hats on, and in the comment section down below, let me know what you think. What do you think the new features are going to be? That's the one thing that no one's been able to pin down yet. A few people have it narrowed down, but no one really knows for sure what it's going to be. That's pretty much going to cover it for this video. I know it was a lot of information. I didn't want to go into too much detail with any one item, only because that would have taken forever to do. It's already a pretty long video as it is. So if you stuck around this long, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. In the comment section down below, I want everyone to let me know what is the most anticipated part of Rise of Iron that you were looking forward to. Me, I think it's going to be the new raid. I've always loved the raids, until I've done them so many times that I get bored of them. But every time there's a new raid that's launched, I cannot wait to get in there with my friends and Fireteam and, conquer that. Just to get, the exclusive rewards and loot and everything that you can get from it. And this raid looks really cool with that Wrath of the Machine, so I cannot wait for that. But you guys let me know what you're most looking forward to. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and smack that like button. It really helps me out a lot. Also, if this happens to be the first time that you've made it to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. We are going to have a lot of great information coming up. I upload at least 2 to 3, sometimes more videos a week. That will be increasing once Rise of Iron launches, because there's going to be a lot of new stuff to go over. You guys are going to need guides and walkthroughs and how-tos and opinions on stuff. And I'm basically, all my free time when I'm not at work will probably be me either playing the Rise of Iron or putting together videos for the channel. So there's going to be a lot of new content coming up very shortly. So go ahead and subscribe so you will be notified immediately as soon as I upload those videos. As always, this is LVnative. You guys are awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and smack that like button and leave a comment in the section down below. Also, if this is your first time to this channel, please do not hesitate to subscribe for more great videos like this in the future. As always, this is LVnative. You guys are awesome, and I will see you in the next one.